So anyone that knows me knows how much I love traveling and working out, and I feel like I do rely on my smartwatch more than the next person. Convenience, ease of use, and battery life is key for me and pretty much any other consumer in today's society. But I feel like the Ultra is a bit more than that. It kind of changes the way that consumers approach their everyday tasks. Whether they're day trading, tracking their health, working out, there's a ton you can do now that I feel like you weren't really able to do before. Most in part thanks to battery life, well, at least for me. But is it worth $800? That's what we're going to find out in today's episode with my long-term review of the Apple Watch Ultra. Now for its price point, you get one model to choose from that comes with cellular connectivity, unlike its younger sibling that kicks off at $400 for its GPS variant. The first thing you'll notice is its size and squared off design. Measuring 49mm, it is considerably larger than the rest of the lineup. Surprisingly enough though, it didn't feel any heavier than before unless you were someone with skinny wrists. Its display sports 2000 nits of peak brightness, which is almost twice as bright as its smaller sibling. Now for me, it makes workout modes and text much easier to work with, and now allows up to 7 data fields instead of 6, which you do get with the Series 8. Now its bezel is made out of titanium, so you really won't have to worry about nicks and scratches as much as before. Its display is made out of this sapphire glass that now has increased water resistance up to 100 meters. Its crown is also larger and has deeper grooves, which makes it possible to actually use this thing with larger gloves in colder climates. Say you're in Alaska or somewhere where it's snowing, like here in Detroit. You can now use gloves and make it a little bit easier to use than before. On the left side, you now have your action button, which makes it super easy to hop into a workout or something else that you have this thing programmed for. Above that, you have a sleek visible speaker grill that serves a few purposes. First, it improves audio quality during phone calls, even in louder scenarios. And second, it emits this emergency siren at 86 decibels, letting you be heard from a few blocks away. This siren can also emit this sound for up to 5 hours, depending on where your battery life is at. And as you guys can see, the sound alternates and repeats and gets louder every time. Now for me, no workout is the same, but I do consistently play basketball. So I like lifting first, then doing my cardio after. Now using the action button makes it way easier now than before. If I wanted to, I could have it go directly to basketball, but I like switching things up. So taking me straight to my workouts is how I have mine programmed. Now for me personally, using the button is much more convenient than swiping screens, especially when you're working out. I can't tell you guys how many times I've been in a pool, running, outside, it's been raining, snowing, whatever the case may be, and it just does not register my fingerprint when I'm trying to end my workout. So for those of you swimmers out there, I feel like it's much more convenient when you hop out of a pool to go ahead and use that program button instead of sitting there and swiping looking like an idiot trying to end your workout. It just works way better with that button, and I feel like it works better in pretty much every use case scenario possible. Now when it comes to bands, we have even more to choose from now. The new ones, however, with the Ultra are the Trail Loop band, which is probably the thinnest band and works great for athletes, the Alpine Loop, which has a G-hook that clips both layers together, and then you have the Ocean Loop for divers and swimmers. Each one of these separately kick off at $100, and that's obviously based on whichever one you get with your watch. Now for me personally, I love using the Nike bands. I have them in multiple colors, and these are the ones I use daily, but you can carry over and use your old bands from previous models, which is always a nice touch. For features, we have a ton of new updates, which are probably the main selling points with this watch, along with its battery life. You have crash detection, which is huge, and then a sensor that tracks your skin temperature. But let's start with the Compass app. It lets you save waypoints, which is huge if you're someone who likes hunting or hiking. You can set waypoints or markers that let you backtrack and trace your steps in locations where you might not have service or maps has no information on. Now you also have Precision Start, which lets you bypass the countdown timer when you're working out. Thank you. Now all of this in the real world does come together and make the overall use case scenario that much more convenient, but I don't think it's enough to go ahead and completely eradicate the competition such as Garmin or other manufacturers out there. I feel like it's a few small key upgrades along with a few massive ones to where it makes the overall experience that much better. You now also have dual band GPS, which allows the Ultra to deliver the most accurate information out of any watch in the lineup to date. Now I haven't really ran around the city and strictly followed the information, but stacking this thing up to Google Maps with my phone, I feel like it was spot on 95% of the time, especially when I was setting waypoints or just, I kind of wanted to switch it up and not use Apple Maps with my phone and see if there was a difference, so that's why I use Google Maps, but I feel like most of the time this thing was spot on in pretty much every case scenario that I tried testing it in. With iOS 9, the Ultra has an exclusive Wayfinder face that packs all of these features into a single face that can be customized. The cool part to this is when you rotate the crown, it turns red, which certainly helps in darker scenarios. Now, as far as swimming, the watch automatically measures your dive as soon as you get underwater. I've only used this thing in a pool setting, so I don't dive too much, but for those of you that like diving, you can now go twice as deep in comparison to the standard Apple Watch, making this overall the choice for any enthusiast. Now, thanks to the improved battery life, you can actually track your sleep and health overnight while you're sleeping and not have to worry about charging your watch first thing in the morning. Now, it does this using 2 separate sensors that tracks your skin temperature every 5 seconds overnight. Now, by far my favorite new update with the Apple Watch Ultra is the battery life. I can consistently say that I've gotten 2 to 3 days of battery life in pretty much every case scenario with this watch over the past few months. One of the biggest trade-offs I feel like and turn-offs for me in the past were having battery life that just wasn't there for me. I was charging it consistently and it just became annoying after a few days, So having this new battery life with the Ultra is absolutely amazing. Now, is it able to compete with the 30-day battery life of some other manufacturers out there like Garmin? No, and I don't think it's meant to do that because those watches don't have anywhere close to the technology that the Apple Watch Ultra has. So there is a give and take there, but I feel like for me, it's a significant upgrade and improvement over previous watch models, and I'm happy with the battery life on this one. Now, Apple is also taking this a step further with a future update that can put the Ultra in low power mode and give you up to 60 hours of battery life with some trade-offs, which I believe are reducing the frequency of heart rate and GPS readings. So it's coming up on 3 months now, almost 3 months that I've had the Apple Watch Ultra, and I wanted to take my time with this one. As you guys can see, I went to Aruba, I went to Miami, Curacao, Haiti, I've been to Times Square, I've been pretty much everywhere with this watch, and I tested this thing in a ton of different scenarios, and I'm happy to say that I'm definitely very impressed with this new Apple Watch Ultra. Now, I'm still waiting for that update to give it the 60-hour battery life, so we'll keep you guys posted on social media when that does drop. But as of right now, I feel like if you're a tech enthusiast, the Apple Watch Ultra is most likely in the conversation as one of the best watches you can pick up out in today's market, if not the best, depending on what you're actually looking for. In typical Apple fashion, just like the new AirPods, we see a few great improvements that make the overall experience that much better. Thanks to precision starts, a massive jump in battery life, the action button, and an all-new design, this is without a doubt the best Apple Watch you can pick up in today's market. Now, is it overkill? Sure, but for me as a package, it's definitely worth its price point. Being able to use all these features daily and have it much easier to read and respond to text makes it a game changer for me. But if you're not someone that's going to use all these features, then I would definitely go ahead and pick up the Apple Watch Series 8 if it is time for an upgrade. But I'm curious to know what you guys think. Let me know down below where you'll also find the links to everything that we covered in today's episode. If you want to see more, make sure you follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Detroit Fury. And if you enjoyed this content, please make sure you smash that like button for me, subscribe, turn on your post notifications. It really means a lot to me. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys in my next episode. Peace.